All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Julius Spain, President of Arlington Branch NAACP. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to our final general membership meeting for calendar year 2022. With that being said, we're going to go ahead like we always have and open up with a word of prayer. I'm going to ask the chair of our Religious Affairs Committee, Pastor Reverend Dr. Alicia Davis, to open us up with a word of prayer. Pastor Davis.
Good evening, everyone. Let us bow for prayer. Gracious, loving, kind, and eternal God, we pause this evening with gratitude in our hearts and on our minds for all that we have experienced up to this present moment in time. We thank you and we praise you, and we ask that you would intervene in our meeting, in the installation, and all of the work of this branch. Continue to bless this branch and its membership and all people that are connected to us throughout Arlington, and we'll forever give your name the praise. Amen.
All right. Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Reverend Dr. Davis. All right, at that time, I'm gonna go ahead and get the agenda up here. So as you can see, we have a pretty brief agenda today, and that's a good thing, right? Because some of our agendas go rather long. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the roll call of officers. Madam Secretary, excuse me.
Yes, we have President Spain, who is present.
Yep.
Second Vice President Sharice Kearns.
He's not here.
Third Vice President Michael Heminger.
Present.
Treasurer Roy Austin.
Present.
Assistant Treasurer Adriana Spain.
Present.
Secretary Wanda Younger, present. Assistant Secretary Laurel Langhorne.
She's present.
Executive Committee at Large Karen Nightingale.
Present.
Executive Committee at Large James Younger.
Present.
Executive Committee at Large Simone Walker.
She's not here.
At Large Member Carolyn Kane. Communications Leah Matterall.
She's not here.
Criminal Justice Heather Kelly.
Oh, we'll have to check the she may be here.
Okay. And Economic Development Megan Brew. Economic Development Maya Jones. Environmental Climate Justice Kenyatta Clements. Environmental and Climate Justice Ron Haddocks. Housing Kelly Macbeth.
Present.
Housing Brian Coleman. Political Action Jamie Abrams.
He's here.
Political Action Megan Razor. And we have Pastor Davis, Religious Affairs is present. Religious Affairs, Rotha Dunkley will not be present. Scholarship, Adora Williams. And that concludes the roll call.
Thank you very much. We have quorum and we have everyone here for enough to get started with the meeting. As you can see tonight, we are in our webinar format. Tonight is installation. If you have questions tonight, please feel free to put your questions in Q&A. At the end of the meeting, when we're done, there will be some time on the backside where we can, let's say, we can promote panelists and we can have a conversation after the agenda, after we get through the agenda. All right. Let me check my panelist view here. I think we're good, Madam Secretary. We're going to go with the financial reports. Mr. Treasurer, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, go ahead.
The financial report for the month of October 2022 is as follows. In our business savings account, the beginning balance, $296,341.39. There was one deposit into the account of $24,000, and that money was transferred from our checking account. That is for the Britton Foundation Scholarship. Ending balance, business savings account, $320,341.39. in our business checking account. The beginning balance, $47,286.42. There were three deposits totaling $424.33. Withdrawals totaling $25,125.98. Ending balance, $22,584.77. The total balance for our checking and savings accounts for the month of October, $342,926.16. That is the end of the October report.
Okay, move on to the November.
For November 2022, in business savings account, beginning balance $320,341.39. And of course, that is also our ending balance. Business checking account, beginning balance $22,584.77. There were two deposits totaling $1,262.04. Withdrawals totaled $1,399.42 with an ending balance of $22,447.39. The total balance for the business and checking accounts for the end of November 2022, $347,788.78. That is end of the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, for that report. The executive committee approved that report yesterday at the executive committee meeting. I will just state that if you have questions about the details of the report as a member of the NAACP, you have every right. So I'm going to order this report filed with the audit committee. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Treasurer. Gail, you had your hand up and now you're allowed to speak. What is your question?
Oh, wait a minute.
Excuse me? Harry.
I don't have a question. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
I don't have a question. I must have, lifted my hand up. I apologize.
Not a problem. Okay. All right. Okay. Sticking with our agenda, we have the financial report, and now I'm going to take a few minutes. I think our state president has made it here with us, so we might get started a little early today, earlier than 7:30. And that's a good thing because I know our state president has a lot to do. So let me go ahead and say a few words about, during this time about, I'm not going to talk about the entire 2 years. We just can't do that, right? And if you are part of the executive committee, feel free to unmute, take your camera off so everyone who's out there can see you. Your participants, they can't see you if your camera's off, so feel free to come on. But I will take a few moments to reflect about everything we've done together as a team over the past several years. It has definitely been a labor of love, right? A labor of love. We know Karen Nightingale is here with us. She's the immediate past president. And I was her first vice president for 4 years, Karen. And then before that, I was you and Elmer Lowe's second vice president for 2 years. So this is my 10th year in leadership at this branch. I tell folks all the time, I just didn't arrive to the NAACP. I was baptized in the NAACP back in 1989 in a place called Conway, South Carolina. Marching in the streets of Conway under from Reverend Dr. H.H. Singleton, Cherry Hill Baptist Church, boycotting. So I know a little something about getting in the streets. I know a little something about agitating. And I also think I understand a little bit about how this organization is supposed to operate. But we're not perfect. But I'm so proud of this team over this administration, these past 2 years, this year in particularly, because as a collective, and I always say collective, right? Because we have accomplished a lot together. This was not the JD Spain show. Y'all know that. This was the Arlington NAACP show, right? Branch, members, right? There is no I in team. There is no I in team. And though, many would argue, well, JD acts like a Marine sometimes. I believe in our structure of our organization, it is a very disciplined process. We have bylaws and constitution that lays the foundation for us and how we're supposed to guide and direct ourselves in our work, right? That's why the NAACP has survived for 113 years. We're not an organization that just jumps up and here I am, and then 2 years later we're gone, right? I can't again be, I'm so proud of the number of hours, sacrifices that each and every committee member and chair has made. From environment and climate justice to economic development to education to criminal justice, housing. This year, housing has just been knocking out the park. We put our political action committee. The things we've done with our political action committee have never been done before at this branch. And that's a testament of folks like Jamie and Detta and Megan and Jan Marie and the whole crew of folks. We've accomplished so much. We've got a couple of awards, but it's not about the awards. It's not about the recognition. It's about the effectiveness of this branch and how have we been effective? And the answer at the end of the day is unequivocally yes. Yes. We're at a point where when policy is being shaped in this community, they want to first see if it passes the sniff test of the NAACP. Why is that? Because if they don't, it does not, we're going to agitate. But we're going to agitate in a way that is diplomatic, that is respectful, right? That's what we do. We may not agree, but we need to respect. There's enough divisiveness and toxicity in the world already, right? We have to respect one another. So again, I understand the sacrifices each one of you have made over the past 2 years and in many parts, long before you showed up to the NAACP. The third VP-elect coming in, Laurel Langhorne, right? I'm so proud of how far you've come, Laurel. Working over there with our colleagues at Northern Virginia National Coalition of 100 Black Women. And I remember when you first came to the NAACP, you kind of knocked on the door and you went away for a little bit, and then we had a conversation, and look at you now. You stepped up, you want to be assistant secretary, you did well there, and all of you bring something unique to the table. You're subject matter experts in your areas, right? And that's what we need at the NAACP. People in our community are counting on us to be there when they cannot, during the working hours, at 7 o'clock at night, right? At 12 o'clock at the day, right? Kellen and Brian speaking with our elected officials about policy issues, right? But they also expect us to give them some act right. Y'all know that. So if it needs to be in the media, be the media, the Washington Post, and like the secretary tells me sometime, Nightline, we'll get you on Nightline too. But we don't want to take our bouts. You should never want to take your bouts out there into the public space if you don't have to. You should be able to take care of a lot just having a civil conversation and finding ways to compromise, right? That's how we build unity. That's how we build community. So look, I am not going to talk and run my mouth until 7:15, but there's a few folks here, let me see, who may not be coming back, who aren't getting installed today. But what I want to do during my time before we go to the installation of officers, State President Barnett, we thank you again for being here, and I will formally introduce you shortly. I do want to give a few folks, some of you, if you have any words to say, anything to talk about, Again, we're going to have a Freedom Fund banquet on Wednesday. I am so proud of where we are with the Freedom Fund banquet. Second year in a row. It's virtual. People, many people say we can't do it. It's not going to be successful. And today, Mike, I will let you know we're well over the $10,000 mark. Well over the $10,000 mark in donations. And I think our expenditures are going to be around $3,000-4,000. So you're going to have a lot of money in the kitty. You saw the president's, the treasurer's report. So guess what? We're leaving the next administration in good hands with Allstate. Y'all better not mess that money up, Nadia. But look, it's not about the money, but we do need money to do what we do. We do need money to give scholarships to those students in our community, the ones we know aren't being reached by some other organizations, but we have the finger on the pulse with some of our community partners, and we're able to earmark and direct that money by way of a really competent process. So kudos to y'all for all of that. And that's where that money, especially with scholarships, is going to our Black and brown children in our community. Okay? Our Black and our brown kids in our community. Everyone's welcome, but we know they have been disproportionately affected a lot by even scholarship application process. Those are facts. Okay? So let's do our due diligence. So the partnerships we have with the Britton Foundation, Amazon, donors, everyone else is going. We don't take the money. It ain't JD Spain or us not getting paid. It's going straight from us to the school, the higher institution, the institution of higher learning. That's where it goes. All right. Look, let's go around the horn real quick for those that Pastor Davis. I'm going to say a few words and I want you to say whatever you say. But Pastor Davis, we did not have a religious affairs committee in the first 2 years. And I went to Pastor Davis and I said, Pastor Davis, see, I told y'all earlier that I was going to have a surprise for you. We were going to welcome the vice chair of the chair and vice chair of the board of directors for the NAACP, the illustrious Karen Boykin Towns is with us. Hi, Karen.
Hey, I was trying to come in here incognito.
No, don't work like that. not here.
I'm going to see you guys on Wednesday.
Yes, you are, but you want to come see some of this too, so you can feel folks out. I'm running my mouth, but we're going to thank you for being with us. State president's here with us. I'm going to turn it over to Pastor Davis for a few minutes. Just Pastor Davis, thank you for coming on and help Reverend Dr. Delisha Davis. Thanks for standing up our religious affairs team this year. These past 2 years, you've done some work, especially during COVID. You and Sister Dunkley. Not sure where you're going to be at in the next administration. I don't know, but it is what it is. But we stood that religious affairs committee up, and I'm an AME through and through. And when you and I spoke, I said we're missing something here at this branch, and we got to get that aspect of what I remember the NAACP. You heard me talk about how I was adopted, baptized in the NAACP, Cherry Hill Baptist Church in Reverend H.A. Singleton in 1989. So I said, we got to bring this back. And Pastor Davis, when I went, I said, I need you. She said, I'll be there. Pastor Davis, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And to everyone in our Arlington branch, it has been a true delight and honor to be able to serve you over the last couple of years as your religious affairs chairperson. We've been able to do marvelous work, especially in the areas COVID education, making sure people got their COVID vaccinations, as well as getting out the Black vote. And now we have moved into the missing middle, as well as just making sure our faith communities are strong parts of the NAACP and our greater community at large. And so I am just honored and elated that we've been able to serve and to see the progress that has been made in Arlington. And we are not done yet. While I may not be your chair, we're going to continue to move forward with this work and continue to work together throughout Arlington to make it a better place. And I congratulate our new officers that are coming on. We are so grateful for you. I'll be right there to support you and to help however I can. If it's okay, Mr. President, we are planning our Martin Luther King celebration on Monday, the 16th at Mount Olive Baptist Church. Dr. Otis Moss, who marched with Dr. King, will be in Arlington as our speaker that day, and we'll have a beloved community workshop. And so I encourage everyone to sign up and to come out. It's going to be a day of service as well as a day that we will worship and fellowship together. Again, it's been an honor to serve, and I will still be at 5000 Langston Boulevard and accessible to all of you as our beloved NAACP. Thank you again, Mr. President.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Davis. I do want to move to a young lady who, Karen Nightingale, you might well go ahead and bring your camera up. If you did, pull your camera on. I got to see you, Karen. Karen, are you here? That's right. It looked like you still in DC. They got you working at the government place. Look, Karen Nightingale.
I'm working at the church now.
You're working at Macedonia Baptist Church. I love all our people at church. Good. Karen, you know, you and I, how far back we go. And I applaud you for wanting to stick up. Karen is our immediate past president. I told y'all before, I was under her for 4 years as the first VP. She's been on the exec committee at large, sometimes giving out act right, listening to me when I'm, when y'all don't even know about it. But Karen, you've seen a lot in this branch. You remember when we were making $20,000 to go to an event, the Freedom from Banquet in Crystal City. And by the time we reconciled the money, we made how much? About $100. I was say what was going on back then. I wasn't in charge. But look, Karen has stuck with the branch of the NAACP, y'all, since I got here. That's dedication. She hasn't gone nowhere. Through thick and thin, through the good and the bad, through the trials and tribulations. And that tells me that it ain't about no title. Titles ain't gonna get you into heaven to start with. It's about the business of the NAACP. She believes in the NAACP. So Madam Immediate Past President, member of the exec committee, any words you want to share before we get ready to turn this over to our state president, who may want to introduce our national board, I'm not vice chair, I don't know. But Karen Nightingale, anything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ma'am.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you, Mr. President, for all the kind words. You and I have gone way back. Appreciate your administration. You've done tremendous. We started it a long time ago in a little small, we don't want to go back and say in a little shack, but we were certainly in a one room trying to get it right. So it is a dedication. It is about power in the community. It is about leading and guiding and following our path for the good of the community. So I will be here. I'm sticking around. I'm not going anywhere. And I do appreciate all you've done. We had some good times, some crazy times, and we also had some hard work. So appreciate everyone in the NAACP. I appreciate everyone that is coming forward. I'll be working with you guys. I will be here. I hope to be as they say, now I'm the person that can sit back and say, that's good, that's great. I can help and lean on me and lean on Julius as well to give some guidance for new things. But we're gonna get out of the way because it's a new day and there's some new things coming. But I'm here to stay. So I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to talk, and congratulations to all the new officers coming on board. We will certainly work diligently with everyone. And thanks again, Julius.
You're welcome, sis. Last person I do want to mention, Roy Austin, if you can come off and your camera for just a minute. Roy, our treasurer, retired captain, Arlington County Police Department. Roy, are you there? Roy probably went to sleep. Hey, but look, I'm getting ready to turn this over to our state president. And there's
Take your time.
there's a guy who's missing. who's been my bedrock. Who's my ace? My ride or die. And Karen, you know, we kind of encouraged him to get into the NAACP. And he came in and he started flourishing. And yet the best was yet to come. And that's Kent Carter. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. We wouldn't be able to do what we've done without Kent. And I want you to know that he loved each and every one of y'all too. So we're going to say a few things about him on Wednesday night. His ex-wife and daughter will be with us, but no one can replace Kent. But life will go on. The NAACP will go on. We will continue to fight, agitate, because I believe in it. He believed in it. He was a Silver Life member, not paid. He kind of pushed me. I said, when he became a Silver Life member, I said, let me go on up to gold. I went to gold. I gotta go to platinum now. So guess what, y'all, members that are coming in, I challenge each and every one of you. If you believe in the NAACP like Kellen does, like James Younger does, coming in first VP, and many others, Karen Nightingale, all of you, get your Silver Life membership. Pay for it. Get it out of the way. Move on to gold. Become a platinum member. You're going to go through many trials and tribulations as a leader. People are going to come at you. They're going to call you everything but a child of God. But put the NAACP first. The mission and the vision and objective of the NAACP first. And you have to worry about nothing. Read your bylaws. Know your constitution. And everything will be all right. Don't worry about these personalities and all that other stuff. You just keep pushing. People are watching. Arlington has 238,000 people in it. They need us. They need us. The things that are going on in the world today, whether it's politics or it's our communities, pitting people against each other, they need the NAACP on the battlefield to stand in the void and fill the gap. We can make it happen. Learn to compromise. Don't go to sleep at night with ill on your heart. Treat everyone with courtesy and respect, and you'll be okay. All right. With that being said, I'm going to welcome my good friend. And he and I, we ain't always see eye to eye neither now. So you know me, I'll go back and forth with whoever. But I love him because he's the leader. And I have to respect. That's one thing you learn in the Marine Corps. You may not like, you don't have to like me, but you got to respect me because I'm in the office. Me and Barnett, we've had our knockdown drag-outs, but he's the president. And I'm not going to let anything, he's the president. And if somebody else want the presidency, you go run for it. Wish you all the best of luck. He's the one holding it down. He's the one sacrificing his time and his days. He's also prior Air Force, so I ain't gonna hold that against him since I'm a Marine. But anyway, he's our president. And Mr. Barnett, I know every day hasn't been Sunday, even in the Virginia State Conference, but we are making it happen here too, across the state. I sit on the executive committee at large at the state level as an at-large member. I was the regional vice president for 13 branches, y'all know that. And that was a tough one, Mr. Barnett, especially going out in places like Far Cure County. Good Lord. I love my people in Far Cure, but y'all put me on some places. I was like, I don't know what was going on, but we made it better. Mr. President, you have before you tonight the incoming administration that have been duly nominated and elected by members of this branch of the NAACP, and we followed the process to a T. Through Election Buddy, which I think a lot of people love. So, and we've been sharing this information. So you and I spoke last week, and it's a pleasure. It's a great honor and pleasure for you to be with good old little old NAACP branch here tonight to install the next administration. The time is perfect, 7:30. So at this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. We do have the all the members here. Make sure you come off camera, everyone, because when we do this, you're gonna have to raise your hand too. We ain't doing no raising no hand in the dark. Make sure we see everybody. All right. All right, I think we got everyone here. The floor is now yours. I present to you, introduce the others. The State President of Virginia State Conference of the NAACP, Robert Barnett.
Thank you, JD. And first of all, good evening to everyone. And a special good evening to our Vice Chair of the Board, Karen Boykin-Towns. It's a pleasure for myself and the Arlington branch of the NAACP to have you in attendance. And before I go into what I've been asked to do, I'm gonna turn the floor over to you. And if you have any comments before I do what I've been asked to do.
Well, good evening, President Barnett, and to the Arlington branch of the NAACP. Like I said, I was just joining to be incognito, to just listen. I am beyond honored to be able to participate in your virtual Freedom Fund on Wednesday. And this was just part of my research as I continue to pray on the words for which I will share within the time that is given to me. But it is very, very special to be a part of your installation, and congratulations to those who thought it not robbery to step up and assume the mantle of leadership. We need you now more than ever. The previous administration led by President Spain has done phenomenal work. I get multiple emails from you in a week, and I, have been watching you for several years, and to kind of see the work that you have done day in and day out in your community, which I've been privy to, is just really impressive. And I don't want to say too much because then you're not going to listen to what I say. But honestly, this NAACP that we continue to ensure is here for the work is no small feat. And I think President Spain has done a great job in terms of helping you get a sense, although I'm sure you knew when you stepped up that, every day is not going to be sunny. But what we know is that every day is an important one in the lives of the people who count on us to really speak truth to power and stand up on behalf of those whose voice many times are not heard. And so I am thrilled beyond how you can imagine that I'm here, that I get to witness this, and that I get to be with you on Wednesday. So thank you for a few minutes of your time tonight, which I was not expecting. And President Spain, you'll be happy to know that I told the chairman today when I was talking to him, I said, because we're hearing all the stories around the country where there have been challenges around the election process. And when I told him that Arlington had a successful election with no issues with Election Buddy, he said, and that is to be expected because that is the Arlington branch. And so thank you for having me this evening. Thank you so much for having me on Wednesday. And if I can now just get back to my research, I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. And just a few words before I go into the oath. I want the incoming officers and everyone on the call to know that nothing can stop the power of a committed and determined people to make a difference in our society. And that's what the Arlington branch of the NAACP is committed to do. You know, too many of us have fought too hard for anyone to put the sanctity of the branch into question. And so when you step into leadership, you have to follow the lead of the past executive committee and take the mantle further. We are one people, one family. We live in the same house. And so we must make this house bigger and better than it's ever been. You will run into people who have the burden of hate. For hate is too heavy of a burden to bear. Too many people still believe that our differences define us. You know, if we fail to do what's right, what is kind, and what is just, history will not be kind to us. We have a moral obligation, a mission, and a mandate to speak up and speak out. You must take an extraordinary effort to understand one another and go beyond petty differences. What we need in this unit is not division. We need cohesiveness in this unit because that's where the work gets done. So many of us have tried to do it all on our own. But let me tell you, that is not the way to go. Matter of fact, it may lead to the recipe of failure. But I want to leave you with a quote that the great Nelson Mandela said in 1964. And I quote, "During my lifetime, I've dedicated myself to the struggle of African-American people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against Black domination. I have cherished the ideal of democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die," end quote. That's the kind of passion we need in the NAACP. And now for the Arlington branch of incoming officers, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly
I
swear
solemnly swear
Okay, good. To discharge
to discharge
to the best of my ability
To the best of
best of my
ability.
abilities
ability,
the responsibilities of
The
responsibilities of
the office in which
the office in which
the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People
The National
Association for the Advancement of Colored People,
the advancement of colored people,
in accordance with its Constitution
in accordance with the Constitution
and bylaws
and bylaws
laws,
and the decisions of its governing bodies.
and
decisions
decisions
of its governing bodies.
I dedicate myself anew
I dedicate myself anew
anew
to the principles of equality,
to the principles of equality,
equality,
and justice under law.
and
justice under law.
I shall try always
I shall try always
to keep the goals
and keep the
Keep
goals
the
Reach the
goals
goals
of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People,
of the
National
National Association
Association
for the Advancement of Colored People,
above any purely
above
above
any
any
purely
purely
personal and individual interests
personal and
personal or
individual
individual
interests
that might hinder
that might
That
might
hinder
hinder
the attainment of those goals.
the
attainment
of those goals.
those goals.
I ask continued help
I ask continued help
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 of Almighty God
of Almighty God
in keeping this pledge.
in keeping this pledge.
Congratulations, you're now duly installed.
Yay.
Again, I would like to thank the Arlington unit of the NAACP for all you do. Those officers that are rotating off, but not rotating out. JD has done an excellent job, even though, as he said, we haven't agreed on everything, but we were able to talk it out and we respect one another. And so even though he's a Marine and I'm an Air Force, we still love one another.
That's right.
Thank you so much and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. State President. We really appreciate you. Love you. Take care and have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, New Year,
too.
Hanukkah, the whole nine.
Hold on.
right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we have a few minutes left, and don't look, look, you're installed, but you start on January 1st. So I'm still holding this down, President-elect, until December 31st. So I just can't let go before I let go. Look, we have a few things to do. We have the banquet coming up, and we're going to tie up some loose ends. We're going to meet with the incoming team. We're going to go over the finances. We talked about all that, the $300 and some odd $1,000 y'all have in the kitty. You're welcome. Yeah. Oh, you missed that, Madam Vice Chair. Yeah, we got some money in the kitty for scholarships and things like that. But I do want to do at this time, I am going to, for the next 10 minutes or so, I am going to turn the floor over. Well, I'm not turning the floor over. I'm going to allow President-elect Michael Heminger to say a few words. And Mike, you can feel free to pass it down the line to your officers coming in, at which time we will conclude. And then we will bring in at the top of the hour, we may start before that, Mr. Dave Schutz, who's going to talk a little bit about ranked choice voting. Dave is a friend of the NAACP, and he wanted to come before us, so he'll be our last presenter of the year. We've had some great presentations this year. He'll talk about ranked choice voting. I'm gonna leave that alone. So Mike, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Good evening, Madam Vice Chair. Thank you so much for being here. It's really an honor. We're looking forward to your remarks on Wednesday. I've heard so much good things about you. President Barnett, thank you so much for joining as well. It's an incredible honor to have you with us tonight as the installation official. Not very many executive committee members get to be sworn in by their state president. And tonight, we're deeply grateful. You've led the state conference with dignity, respect, and strength. And I think you're a living example of all the NAACP can and should be. We celebrate your years of service, fighting for justice. And again, thanks for being with us tonight. President Spain, wow, where do I even begin? I think back to the very first time we met at the Field Heritage Festival a few years ago. I never could have imagined that we would become such good friends. And I never could have imagined that I would be leading this incredible branch following your footsteps. For those of you that don't know, I talk with JD every couple days, sometimes every day, and occasionally multiple times a day. There's early morning phone calls. There's calls before he goes to Ruthie's and after he goes to Ruthie's, afternoon calls, and sometimes there's calls at 11 p.m. and midnight or later. I'm thankful for your service to this branch, and I'm grateful for your more than a decade of commitment to the NAACP. It's that level of commitment and competence that fuels our path and paves the way forward. Our branch has never been better positioned to achieve equity, political rights, social inclusion, than we are right now. And President Spain, we're deeply grateful for your leadership. This weekend, I got to spend some time in Buffalo, New York. While I was there, I stopped by the grocery store where 10 people, all Black, were murdered by a terrorist who drove from hundreds of miles away in his attempt to try to kill as many Black people as possible. Buffalo, New York is just one reminder to me and to all of us that the work of the NAACP continues. And while we have come so far, we still have far to go. It is easy to get overwhelmed with emotion, and it's easy to get wrapped up in all that's wrong in our society, and it's easy to feel hopeless. I left Buffalo with a renewed sense of determination, and I'm grounded in the words of John Lewis, who said, "Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not a struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It's the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble." As we turn the page on this administration, I look to the past for learning, guidance, and courage, yet I also look to the future, a future where we are no longer judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our heart, a future where that dream becomes our reality, and a future where liberty and justice actually do ring true for all of us in this country. The mission of the NAACP is to agitate. We are the oldest and the boldest civil rights organization in this country. In our cities, in our schools, in our companies, in our courtrooms, we are the legacy of W.E. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells, Thurgood Marshall, and many other giants of civil rights. This branch has never been better positioned for the work that lies ahead. I'm surrounded by incredible leaders in this new administration, and I'm reminded of the compassion, the sense of service to others, and the incredible legacy of Kent Carter that lives on within all of us. I don't know what we will accomplish over these next 2 years, but here's what I do know. I know that we will make some noise. I know that we will be getting into some good trouble, and I know that we will be getting into some necessary trouble. We will not rest, and we will not sit idly by. There's work to do in this county, in this Commonwealth, and in this country, and we will be the change. I'll close with my favorite quote from Dr. King. He said, "If you can't fly, then run. And if you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." Thank you, everyone, for your faith and confidence in this next administration as we keep the NAACP moving forward. Peace, justice, and power. Thank you.
You're muted, Julius.
All right. Yeah, virtual hand clap. So thank you, President-elect, for those inspiring words. And trust me, I done told you, I'm not going to be far. I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere. First VP-elect, James Younger. Any words, sir, that you would like to provide today?
Good evening. I'd like to say that I'm really honored to have been elected to this position because the branch has grown exponentially, and I can say that from experience, having been a member of the branch for the past 20 years. The first time I joined NAACP, I actually joined the Philadelphia chapter because I couldn't find anybody who knew anything about the Arlington branch and where they met. So this branch has clearly grown. It clearly has well recognized throughout the community and probably beyond this community. One of the things that one of our former presidents used to say as a slogan, and I'm probably paraphrasing it, Dr. Talmadge Williams used to say, "Who is the NAACP?" And then he would say, "We are the NAACP." And what I'd like to add to that is that when we, as members, as officers, as branch, as committee chairs, when we go around and interact with not only people in the community, but also members of our organization, we need to let people know that every single member of the NAACP is important, not just the officers, not just the committee chairs, not just the people that participate in the committee. So every member is important. Every member has a share. some people may think that their shares are not sufficient. But we need to encourage people and so that they know that their share is sufficient, even if they have one day a year to participate in voter registration. That's important. No matter how little time they have sufficient when added up with everybody else who also has a little bit of time, we can have a fantastic impact. Again, I'm truly honored that I've been selected for this position, and I'm asked for your prayers for wisdom in carrying out the duties and responsibilities of the first vice president of the NAACP.
Thank you, Mr. Younger. And we are greatly appreciative of your 2 decades, if not more, involvement with the NAACP. We're not going to be able to get around to everybody, but because we have 9 minutes, so I'm going to go to our second VP, then our third VP, just say a few words. And if we can, I want to allow everyone, if possible, to at least give them a minute to say something while we're here at this moment. All right, so I'm going to go over to our second VP-elect, Brian Coleman.
Thank you. First, I want to thank Virginia State Conference President, as well as Madam Vice Chair, for coming here and being willing to swear us in attendance. Is a great honor. I also want to thank everyone just in this chat who is willing to see us in this moment and acknowledging not only your work that you've done in the committees, but also in the community. And as the first VP-elect said, it's always important to acknowledge the work that everyone has done, not just our elected officials and executive board members, but everyone throughout the branch. Also acknowledge, of course, our current branch president for all the work he's done over the last few years, not only as his role as president, but throughout his time in the NAACP. And as I stand on this moment of graciously accepting the responsibility you've given me as the second vice president-elect, I look at all the members of this branch who I've seen embody the values of this organization so well that brought me to the NAACP in the first place. I recall moving to Virginia after graduating from grad school back in 2019 and not knowing where to go, feeling adrift and not knowing really what I wanted to do with the skills that I had obtained, being, as our president says, subject matter expert, but seemingly without a purpose. And then after speaking with Kent and with JD and with Mike and Kellen and various others, I saw people doing things in the community and actually speaking truth to power and making a difference, and doing so in a way where there was a pride and confidence in what the mission of the organization was. And I was so proud that I could be a part of something like that. And so I'm both humbled as well as excited to do more of this great work. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Brian. We're going to go to your third VP, Laurel Lancor, and then there is someone I want to hear from who is a lifelong Arlingtonian. She got her eyes all raised, but we're going to go to the third VP right now, Laurel.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for the opportunity. It's been an honor to serve with you all the past couple of years, and I'm just excited to continue to serve our community and the mission of the NAACP, and I look forward to working with everyone in this new role.
Thank you. Laurel, thank you so much. Nadia Conyers, I mean, if you haven't got the book that she and her daughter wrote, you need to get it. But Nadia is a lifelong Arlingtonian, so I'm only been here 13 years, so I don't have nothing on her. But for Nadia at this point in her life to come and give a little bit of her time, more of her time, to this organization that she's known all her life in this community is really touching to me, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So we really appreciate you, Nadia, and the floor is now yours.
Thank you, JD. I want to thank you for all of your hard work in helping the NAACP to get to where it is now, and for everyone who worked tirelessly for Arlington County and our people of color. We thank you. As a 5th generation Arlingtonian, I have been running from this work my entire life. I watched my grandmother and my great grandmother and my mother work tirelessly in this community and give of their time and of their tithes. And I am humbled to be part of the group. I am a mother of 3, and prayerfully I can give some of what I am not giving at home to the NAACP. But I do know that this work is vital to our community, and it's necessary. And so I want to thank you for all that you all have done in your past administration, and I look forward to working with the future administration. So thank you for allowing me to have a few words.
Thank you, Nadia. Kellen McBeth, I can't say enough about Kellen. Kellen, the floor is going to be yours. Kellen's coming off his chair as our housing committee. We can talk for 30 minutes right now if we really wanted to, right? About missing middle housing, exclusionary zoning, the whole gamut, the challenges we've been facing, where we're at today. But Kellen has been leading the charge on this. And as y'all know, he's going to be awarded the Charles P. Monroe Civil Rights Award on Wednesday night for his body of work. His body of work is just phenomenal. So Kellen, go ahead and say a few words. I know you're gonna have some more time on Wednesday, but thank you, sir.
Thank you, JD. It is truly an honor to have been elected to serve as an at-large executive committee member, coming on the heels of serving as the housing committee chair for the last 2 years. It's been an absolute privilege to work with the NAACP and my colleagues within the housing committee and on the executive committee to fight for fair housing, to fight for affordable housing, to fight for low-income tenants and other people who are historically disadvantaged and haven't had much of a voice. And I'm really proud of what we've been able to accomplish in just 2 short years. And I'm really looking forward to what we can accomplish, not just in housing, but and the rest of the branch and build on the successes of the Education Committee, of the Criminal Justice Committee, the Political Action Committee. There's so much good work that's been done by amazing leaders over the last couple of years. And I'm just grateful to have had the opportunity to be a part of it and lend some of my talents and my time to this effort. And I'm looking forward to serving with all of you in this new capacity. So thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you, Kellen. We're going to go to our incoming Assistant Secretary-elect, Kathleen McSweeney.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I just want to say, I'm not going to say a lot. I just want to say I'm humbled and I'm really excited to begin working with everybody. Thank you, JD, for all your confidence and your encouragement. A lot of encouragement to run for this. But and thank you for being the kind of leader that surrounds yourself with a lot of wonderful people and acknowledges, the talent you have built, that is here in this branch. I am really looking forward to continuing the work with everybody, getting to know some of you better, and just learning from everybody and learning from the wisdom of everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Kenya Pennington, our Assistant Treasurer-elect, coming in.
Hello, everyone. I want to echo all of the gratitude that's been expressed. I am humbled. I am so thankful. I want to share another powerful quote by a person that means so much to us, to keep with the theme, and that Toni Morrison said that if you have some power, it is your job to empower someone else. So I want to thank JD and Mike for all of the encouragement and confidence in me as I accept this position. I'm very excited to work with everyone.
Thank you. Our branch secretary is coming back for round 2 for another term. Wanda Younger.
Yes, and I want to say it's been a pleasure and it's been an honor to serve as your secretary during this administration, and especially under the leadership of President Spain. He's done incredible work. I've had an opportunity to work side by side with him, and I've learned so much and have grown so much, and I appreciate all the work that you've done. And I look forward to working with our President-elect Mike Heminger to continue the great work that's already been done.
Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna go, well, look, this lady right here served as the assistant treasurer, and Roy, let me go, Roy, are you there, Roy?
Yes, I am.
Roy, come on camera before I go to Adriana. Come on camera, please. Roy, let me say this real quick. When y'all know Bill White was our treasurer for a long time. Bill White had some health illnesses, and he ended up being a double amputee. Bill was really close. Bill is still with us. He's close. Bill loved being the treasurer at the NAACP. Lord knows he did. And when Bill said he could not come back 2 years ago, Roy, who's been coming to all of our meetings and been involved, without any hesitation, Roy said, I'll do it. And Roy is what, retired captain of the Arlington County Police Department. But outside all that, Roy has been involved in our community long before I showed up. And Roy's been our treasurer and watching the money, all right, for the past 2 years. He's not coming back. He's going to be part to help with some of the transition. He's a Silver Life member. Roy, you have a few words for everyone?
Not much to say, but first of all, it was and has been an honor to assist you. You have been an inspiration, and I personally want to thank you for the assistance that you gave me. You didn't get information, I couldn't get the reports out, and I thank the membership for your assistance, your acceptance. It's been an honor, and I will continue to help in any way that I am needed. And
Thank you, Roy. We're gonna go to Adriana Spain, who's the incoming. Y'all, this is my wife. We just celebrated 30 years. Let me tell y'all something. I said, Adriana, why don't you run for the treasurer position? No, I don't. I said, but you're the best one for it. You're an assistant treasurer. Why don't you run for it? And she and Roy talk. Y'all know Adriana got this big gig over at the State Department. She claims she's too busy, but we're thankful for her to come around. Adriana, the floor is yours, sweetie.
Hi, hello everyone. As Kathleen said, there was a lot of encouragement from you. Encouragement. No, I'm happy to be here. I am grateful for the vote of confidence that to have been elected for the position. And I am looking forward to serving as your treasurer and supporting the new administration in this role. And I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Last but not least, before we go to our, I think our guest speaker of the evening, I think I got everyone. I'm going to start like I began with the immediate past president who is staying on as a member of the executive committee, the illustrious Karen Nightingale. Are you with us, Karen? Any words? You're now coming in again.
I am on. I beg your apologies for not being on camera, but I'm driving. But I just want to say that again, I am extremely excited to be a part of this wonderful branch again. It is a true honor, and I hope to be able to do all the things that we can get accomplished in this next year. So I appreciate you all. I will concede the rest of my time. I've already spoken enough, though. Thank you so much, Mr. President. It's been a pleasure.
All right, we're going to ask Roy to come on camera. We got all the entire team here. We're going to look in the camera like we all do for our comms team. We're going to take a photo. This is it. Madam Secretary, where you at? Are you going to do the screenshot, Madam Secretary?
Yes, I will.
I know you're good with all this stuff. You want to tell everybody, tell them when to say cheese or something.
All right, we'll do a countdown to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jeez.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. You don't have to stay on camera anymore. We're going to turn to our guest of the hour. Again, Thank you again. Dave Schutz, are you with us? Dave?
I'm here.
Okay, all right.
I got to start. I'm failing to start the video. Host
Hold
has
on,
stopped my video.
I will, let us get your, I think we have your slides. You did send those to us,
I
right?
sent slides, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get these slides up for you. Dave is going to speak with us tonight. All right, take care, Vice Chair of the Board. Thank you, Karen. We're going to go here. Can everyone see this?
Yeah, I see it anyway.
Okay, so we have Dave Schutz with us. Dave will talk a little bit about himself. We shared his bio as well. This presentation is on ranked choice voting. It is slated to go for about 15 minutes or so, followed by some Q&A for those that may have any. Dave, the floor is now yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Dave Schutz, and JD has given me this opportunity to talk about ranked choice voting, how it works, and what's available to Arlington. I've been a member of the Civic Federation Tiger, the task force in governance and election reform, for the last 2+ years, and we looked at a wide variety of governance reforms for our fair county, ranked choice voting among them. Ranked choice is in style. The county board has decided to use ranked choice in the 2023 primary here in Arlington. The Republicans used it to nominate Glenn Youngkin for governor. It worked pretty well for them. And Arlington Dems have been using it in their caucuses for most of the past decade. I agreed to advocate for it at a meeting of my civic association and to find someone to speak against it, and I couldn't find an opponent. So I had to talk from both sides on that one. I personally fell in love with ranked choice voting in the late 70s and early 80s when I lived in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and where they have used it since the 1940s. So I'm an advocate, and that's going to come through in this talk, but I'm going to do my best to cover it fairly. Next slide, please. Or first text slide. One slide back. Yeah, one more back. Yeah, okay, the 2020, Patrick Hope patroned a bill to enable Arlington to use ranked choice voting in the 2020 legislative session. And it passed, its governor signed it. And in response, the Civic Federation set up the Tiger Group to consider both ranked choice voting and other possible improvements in Arlington's form of government. Tiger met for 2 years, has written a report. The report calls for enlarging the school and county boards to 7 members each, paying them more, electing them by ranked choice voting in 2 cohorts, one of 3 members and one of 4, and for 4-year terms, lengthening the term of the chairs and making them renewable, more staff directly available to county board. So Arlington is generally well thought of as well governed. Why did Tiger think changes are a good idea? I'm going to start by describing what some people see as Arlington's problems and why we think that the things we've recommended can help. The Arlington system of staggered terms and partisan primaries elected by first past the post voting leads to ideological and cultural uniformity and works against getting electeds from underrepresented communities. It was set up in the era of the Byrd Machine, 1930, and these features are arguably in the design of the system. Our low turnout partisan primaries, usually under 15,000 vote in our county of 230,000, are followed some months later by higher turnout general election, by which time the important decisions are pretty nearly irreversible. This has functioned and continues to function to put into office the candidates preferred by the dominant faction of the dominant party. There are voices we don't hear. Communities within the county can go for decades without electing any champions to either board. Before I talk about how the Tiger report might address these issues, I should tell you how ranked choice works. Next slide, please. It's pretty simple for the voters. You rank your choices from best to worst. It's very different if the effects are very different, whether you're selecting one elected or several. Arlington will use it in the 2023 primary. It was favored by a substantial majority of citizens surveyed by the county in a survey last year. Next slide, please. Okay, there, as they say, there will be math. Ranked choice voting comes in 2 flavors. It can be used to select multiple candidates in a single election and can also be used to select a single candidate. Both flavors solve some of the problems of plurality voting, and what faces the voter is pretty much the same. You take your ballot and you rank order the candidates from the most or the least preferred to the least preferred, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is simple. It's a little more complicated for the people counting the ballots. As I said, the board is going to use it in the 2023 primary, which is a 2-member year in Arlington. So it's going to be a multiple member election that takes place that year. So how does it work? Well, the total number of ballots cast is divided by the number of seats to be selected plus 1. So if you're selecting 2 candidates, you divide your number of ballots cast by 3. If you're selecting 5 candidates, you divide the number of ballots cast by 6. And then that plus 1, the reason for this threshold value is if someone gets that many votes, they can't fail election under a ranked choice system. So then, if you're selecting 2 ballots, let's say we're in the 2023 primary, and 15,000 people vote, then the threshold will be 5,001 number 1 votes. If someone gets those 5,001 number of 1 votes, they're elected. If that person got more than 5,001, you distribute their extra number 1 votes to the people who got number 2s on those ballots. If you get another winner that way, you're good. If you don't, you go to the people with the lowest number of ballots and distribute their ballots to the number 2s. The process goes on until you have winners for all the seats, and proportional representation results from this process because once you've got someone elected, the ballots which remain unallocated tend to be more strongly for someone else than the person who gained election. So if you have a couple of factions, you tend to elect from both factions. Okay, next slide, please. Single seat election works by the same rules. In effect, it works rather like plurality voting. However, the big benefit is it protects against what I've called the lone nutball. And we have seen, we saw that the Republicans, for example, used this to ensure themselves against Amanda Chase being their nominee in the recent gubernatorial primary. If the Republicans had used that in the 2016 primaries, it seems very unlikely that Trump would have gained the nomination. So what I'm saying is that if you're rank choicing it, and you do it first past the post, someone really eccentric can win. And if you do rank choice, you're protected against that. So Tiger has suggested 7-member school and county boards, and that each would be elected in 2 cohorts. And the way this, and as I said, you get proportional representation because the first person elected sucks up most of the votes, many of the votes for whatever faction or position that person's taking. And so you end up with all of the communities of interest in the jurisdiction getting somebody onto the county board, somebody up there on the platform able to advocate for them. In an Arlington context, you can cast your thoughts back to the Pike streetcar. If you had a 2-seat race and several people running on a pro-streetcar platform and several people running on an anti-streetcar platform, once you had a winner from, let's say, the pro-trolley camp, then the next person is likely to be someone running from the anti-trolley camp because the pro-trolley ballots went to the person who just gotten elected. The more seats you have that you're electing, the more proportional the results. For that 4-seat race, you would have, and 15,000 voters, you'd have a seat for 3,001 votes. Next slide, please. And as citizens, you need to think about what your views are about proportionality. You need to think about, that's probably your most important factor in deciding whether you personally think ranked choice voting is the way Arlington ought to go. Proportionality will get the variety of views in the community onto the boards. The current boards make an awful lot of 5-0 decisions. This leads to efficiency, but it also leads to some feeling squeezed out. The Tiger was tasked by the Civic Federation with looking at ways to improve proportionality in Arlington's elected group. And that's what the aim of our recommendations is. And we expect that there will be a substantial community conversation about ranked choice voting and about the recommendations in general over the next year or so. We've delivered our report to the county board this month, and I hope you'll take part in that discussion and have a constructive path forward for us. And are there any questions?
Okay, well, thank you, Dave, for your presentation. Well received on our end. I believe let me look here. Do we have those that are still with us? Oh, great. We have about 46 for now. 47 jumped on. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A or in the so we can read them. Right now, we don't have any questions, Dave. I think you can see that as well. If you want to come off mic and ask a question, just raise your hand and we can unmute you. First President-elect. Yes, go ahead. First President-elect has a question.
I think I may have missed something, but I thought I saw one slide where 15,000 was divided by 2 and came up with 5,000. Did I misread that?
There will be math. If you have 15,000 people voting, and if you're doing a ranked choice election, the way you do it is you divide by the number of candidates to be elected plus 1. So in fact, if you have 15,000 voting, you're going to divide by 3, and that gives you your 5,000. And the reason is because once you've got 5,000 number 1 votes, you aren't going to be able to get more than that number of number 1 votes out of the remaining ballots. So it is that's how you set the threshold in a multi-member race.
James, are you satisfied with that answer?
I'll have to work with it on paper. I'm looking at it from the perspective of a mathematician as well as reasoning, so I'll work it out.
Right. Okay. Assistant Secretary elect has a question. Go ahead.
Thanks. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. Thanks, Dave, for that. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the different ways that this is calculated. I watched it happen, ranked choice voting happen during I guess it was a school board caucus several years back. But I've heard that there are different ways there was one method. What is the method that's being that the proponents of ranked choice voting per the Tiger team, what is the method that they want to use?
Well, we don't really have very much choice about method. What happened was that that Patrick Hope patroned the bill that put it into the state law, and then the State Board of Elections worked on implementing regulations which now exist and which call for the mechanism I talked about. They got a lot of advice from advocates in the group called Fair Vote, which is a national advocacy group for ranked choice voting. They looked at the way it works in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So there really wasn't anything much for Tiger to decide on what form of ranked choice voting would be used. It already exists in state regulation.
Oh, thanks for that. I didn't realize that. Okay. Thank you.
And they've also had they've set standards for the ballots that have to be used. They're qualifying what Arlington is going to be buying new voting machines in the next couple of years. And we are going to need to buy voting machines which are competent to do ranked choice voting. The ones we have will do ranked choice voting, but only to a depth of three candidates. And Arlington is going to have a lot more candidates than that. So we're gonna need to figure out how to accommodate the substantial depth of field, which we expect is coming in the future.
Are you satisfied, Assistant Secretary-elect? Okay, there is a question, Dave, in the chat. The question is, if we expanded the number of county and school board members to 7, would they all still be at large, or would they represent neighborhoods?
That's a really good, the discussion of districts, neighborhoods is really an interesting one. Tiger thought about the question of whether to do districts in Arlington was one of the things which we were charged with by the Civic Federation leadership when we took office. We didn't recommend districts. We recommended at large. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One is that particularly on the schools side of things, it would be very hard to have the districts match the catchment areas of the schools in any sort of, an awful lot of parents would end up outside of the district of the school board member who had the primary responsibility for the schools to which their children were going. That's one thing. Another thing is Arlington is not really one of the aims of districts in general in the country has been to enable underrepresented communities who live in proximity to elect officials. And one of the things about Arlington that is, I think, a good thing is we're not really all that residentially segregated. The underrepresented communities in Arlington are fairly spread out. You really couldn't design a district which included Halls Hill and other, some of the other areas where Black people live and have any kind of a compact and contiguous character. There are so the aim of representing underrepresented communities would not particularly be served by shifting to districts, whereas the experience in Cambridge is that people will generally find a way to vote for a city council member who represents their views wherever in the city they live. And Cambridge elected, when I lived there, they always had someone with an Irish surname. They always had someone with an Italian surname. They almost always had an African American. And this in a town which is 10% African American. So, it enables people from around the whole jurisdiction to pool their votes and put someone into office.
Thanks, Dave. Any additional questions from the panelists? Anyone here? I don't see any more questions in the Q&A. So one of the concerns that I've had, given what I know about ranked choice voting, before I get to the concern, I will say there's been a couple, we know in Richmond, for whatever reason, which I don't have the answer to right now. The Richmond NAACP was not in support of ranked choice voting when they tried to implement it. There's been some issues also in DC, and I'm saying issues because I'm not sure what, why they came to a certain conclusion. I know that the state conference of the NAACP, the Political Action Committee right now, is undertaking a few things where they're going to have some forums throughout the Commonwealth to talk about ranked choice voting. We here at the branch have not took a position on ranked choice voting. I think Gail, okay, Gail, you have your hand raised. We'll come to you just in a second. So that's where we're at as far as the NAACP, if anyone may be asking, right? We have not taken a formal position at the state level nor at the local level. Will we? I'll put that in the hands of the next administration. And I won't talk about how I feel personally. I've seen it work, but I also think it works when you educate and inform the electorate, right? What I do know for certain is that the county has allocated $50,000 to educate and inform the citizenry. To me, I don't believe $50,000 is nowhere close to being enough to educate and inform those that can vote here in Arlington, of a city of 230-some thousand and definitely over 150,000 voters, right? So we have some work to do as a community, as civic organizations, and the county, the government, to make sure we exhaust all means to really explain to our people what is ranked choice voting and how it affects us, right? So because I talked to folks, I was having this conversation yesterday. I can go to any market. I can walk on the street right now and ask a person, tell me what you know about ranked choice voting coming up. Most folks don't know. And if we don't get it right, that's how it'll be in June.
So let me climb in behind you. I absolutely agree that that's not enough resources to put into this educational effort, which is going to be crucial.
Yes, definitely. So that's where we need some advocacy at to get the word out. With that being said, Gail has her hand raised, and let me go find Gail here. Gail, won't you let me find you here in this, because Gail's a good friend of the NAACP, and Gail's a Silver Life member. Gail, go ahead and talk. Gail, Gail? Go ahead, Gail, you can talk.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
All right. In the example that was given of the two candidate model, as I understand it, there were 15,000 voters divided by 3 + 1. You end up with 5,001 votes needed to be successful, for the first candidate to be successful. But I believe that Mr. Schutz said something about if that candidate got more than the 5,001 votes minimum needed, what became of those extra votes?
Yeah, that's called the surplus votes. And what happens is, and this is clearly very, very carefully laid out in the regulations the state has written. What happens is, let's say they get 5,300 votes. You're going to look at the number 2 votes on all 5,300 ballots, and you're going to allocate 305 thousandths of them to every you're going to allocate them in proportion to the total number of number 2 votes that they got to the people who got number 2s. So if half the people who voted for this guy voted number 2 for X, then that person, then X gets 150 extra votes because that's his share of the 300 vote excess. Have I made sense there?
I think so. I have to think about it. If what you just said was not what I thought, but it makes more sense what you just said. So the person gets 5,300 votes. There's an excess of 300 votes.
Right.
And so look at all 5,300 ballots, and you see that half of them had the same choice for number 2.
Right. And that means
Okay.
150 plus a few ballots go to whoever that was.
Okay, then what happens to the other remainder, 145 or whatever?
Well, then somebody else got those number 2s, and those go to that person.
Okay, so they get distributed proportionally.
They all get distributed proportionally, right?
And then when that is done,
Then you declare a loser. The person who got, who got 85 votes and is sitting at the bottom of the pile, that person's ballots get distributed to the number 2s from his or her ballots.
wait, you have to say that again, please. The last person, the one who's going to be the loser, what happens to the loser's votes?
You got 8 candidates, say, and somebody won.
Okay.
And then the excess votes are proportionally distributed out to the other 7 candidates, right?
Okay.
And then you've got somebody sitting at the absolute bottom, the first loser.
Okay.
And that person has 85 votes.
Okay.
And you distribute, and 30 of them go to X and 20 of them go to Y. And so you distribute those ballots out to the number 2s on those 85 ballots.
You distribute only those number 2s on the loser.
Right. And then you have to declare another loser, the guy with 300 votes, right? The next one in the stack.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then you look at who the number 2s are there.
Okay.
And some of them probably go to the person who already won, and they bounce off that person. Okay. Because he's already won.
Right.
So you allocate those ballots then to the number 2s of the people who are still active. Okay, if there's a number 2 for the guy who got 85 and has already been declared a loser, or if there's a number 2 for the guy who already won,
yeah,
then it bounces down to number 3.
Oh my goodness, this is complicated.
It is complicated, and it used to take. I have sat in the balcony of the Longfellow Elementary School in Cambridge, Massachusetts, 40 years ago, watching stacks of paper ballots being moved around to. It was absolutely an amazing process, and all the candidates had people there looking very suspiciously as these stacks of ballots were being moved around.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave and Gail, for your that question. It doesn't like we have, and thus is why we need to have some online tutorials, more resources devoted to this, because I can just tell people like wires all over the place. Look,
JD, you guys have a newsletter, right?
We have quite a bit. Yes, we have a way to communicate.
And why don't I will send you some URLs for papers about how this works, so that people who are interested in the down and dirty details can get them.
Yeah, we would, Mike and the team, we'll send them on over, and we'll get them through our political action committee. And I think you may have spoke with the political action committee in the past, but when the new administration comes on, they'll start doing what they need to do to get the information out. Is that good?
I'm happy to be helpful.
Thank you. All right. Well, again, great presentation. Thank you, Dave. And we're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to end early here. I did bring up, not sure if she's she wants to come off mute, but we were doing all the kudos and stuff earlier, and I made a mention of a few organizations, and I do want to take a moment to thank Ms. Deborah Britton from the Britain Foundation for their hard work and their working alongside the NAACP for nearly a decade now. And it's because of the Britain Foundation, we were able to donate and give out the number of scholarships that we have had in the past and today. So Deborah, I know you're on the call. You have a lot going on. If you want to say a few words, that we've already installed a new administration. They'll start on January 1st, but and I know you may be speaking on Wednesday night as well. Any words, anything you would like to say before we close out here tonight? Deborah may be gone. All right. Anything from the Madam Secretary that I miss out on? I think we're good.
Good.
All right. Well, look, we're going to let everyone go here tonight. Heather Kelly, I see you're with us, and Jamie as well. Thank you all for your hard work as chairs and co-chairs respectively of your committees, criminal justice and political action. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to Wednesday night. I look forward to finishing out the year strong. If there's nothing else for me, I will, and Gabrielle's here as well. Gabrielle Cantor, our previous chair of the Environmental Climate Justice Committee. If there's nothing else for me, thank you, Gabrielle. I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.